Welcome to the speed and agility component of your athletic development program. This is block 4 and we're going to talk about the intensity build up, and we're not quite yet maximum speed, but we are transitioning to that. And a lot of the program design has been around lateral movements and getting better in the lateral planes or the frontal plane, and today is no different. So we're going to challenge your movement, challenge the coordination of your movement, still with the same principles of speed, but also now a bit more agility focused and a bit more lateral movement. So the first one we're going to do is we're down here and we're going to just blend in the hop sequences and start progressing them with a bit more coordination emphasis and a bit more challenging in terms of its integrity of movement. So the first one is a hop and stick. Now you've done hop and stick in your strength and power, but it's a slightly different emphasis because we're now transitioning onto the pitch, or as close as we can to the pitch. So the movement here is a crossover in front, then you stabilize on the landing. Now when you do the crossover in front, it's the crossover foot, so it's this foot that drives me now over, and then it's my left foot that lands. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for here. I want you to do 4 on your left, 4 on your right, crossing over, and then make sure you generate force into that foot to land. Now, again, I'm talking about lateral movement. Lateral movements are important, but the horizontal displacement is far more important than the vertical. So you're shifting your hips across, you're trying to get low carriage off the floor. What I mean that is you're not bringing so if I cross here, so I'm not bringing my foot up and around, I'm actually going across and I'm shifting my weight onto that side. So I'm really trying to transfer as much force as I can laterally. So go 4 left, 4 right. Okay, so you should be able to manage that at home. Slow it down if you're struggling with the speed of it. Just get the coordination and the movement right, and then you can start adding the intensity through speed. Okay, the next one. So you've done that 4 times on your left, 4 times on your right. You're going to do, when you cross over and you land onto that left side or right side, you're going to do a vertical jump as high as you can using your hands as well. So Sandra's going to demonstrate crossing over, landing, and then jumping up as high as you can. Now, it's a difficult exercise to do because you've got to transfer your horizontal momentum into a vertical momentum. So by its own right, it's change the direction. Crossing over and jumping up as high as you can. Okay, you do 4 on your left, 4 on your right. Take a breather in between. There's no prescribed reps and sets here, rest here. Just make sure you're getting good quality when you do the movement. And it should be an explosive movement, maximal intensity, maximal effort, trying to get as high as you possibly can, trying to get as far as you possibly can, and up as high as you can, obviously. So take your breather in between. So take your rest. You're doing 4 on your left, 4 on your right, with as much intent as possible. So you don't want to just get into a slog and you end up not jumping as high and all that. So you're never going to drive the neural adaptation that we're looking for to affect change in the long term. Okay, now we're going to add in some acceleration and some deceleration, but before we do that, I want to just introduce it and the principles behind it again. So if you come up to that dotted line, that dashed line there, so remember what I said about acceleration. Good athletic position, so feet are not too wide but not too shallow, so in a good position. Again, feel at home is because you all have different heights and weights and everything else. So feel in a good position that you feel I can jump from. I can jump from this position, I can run forward, I can run back, I can rotate, I can go side to side. So whatever that position is, it's generally the right position to be in. And from here, I'm going to accelerate out to the first cone. So again, remember, so what Sandra didn't do there was she leaned forward into the movement, which happens quite a lot when you're not being specific. So what needs to happen is you're here, and again, go back to the game again. What's the context of the game? I'm going to have to be reactive, or I'm going to have to respond to a stimulus. So I'm going to have that back drive, that back step to kick me forward. I'm not going to have the opportunity then to lean forward, let my center mass go, and then catch it, because that's going to take too long. I have to be reactive, so I have to utilize the stretch shortening cycle of the back foot to drive myself forward. And what that does, it creates a good forward lean. Yep, off you go. So try it. Perfect. So this is a great example to show you that if you're not conscious about what you're doing, you can forget the fundamentals of the movement. And if you don't practice this drop step, it's going to be harder for you to translate it into the game. And what I always say is try left and right. You'll have a predisposed way of doing it, so you might favor the back foot on the right side. Make sure you do it on the left side also. So again, 2-3 reps on this on each side. And then now the focus in staying the same with the good principles of athletic position and drive and into forward lean and hand position. I won't go over it again. You should know now. We're doing 6 weeks of this. Now into the deceleration phase. So good acceleration, back step, low foot carriage, piston action of the feet, and now good deceleration mechanics again. So that was good. So she stabilized and stopped well. But again, just thinking about the function of the sport, you want to show one way. If you just stop right there against the opponent, you're giving him the favor, because he can go or she can go left and right, and I have to make a decision. If you predispose him or her left and right, it gives you a better opportunity to defend, maybe win the ball or whatever it is. So make sure you're practicing the stuff that will transfer better. Go to the leg position, side on when you decelerate, and again, the in position should be a position where you can move from again. So you start in a leg position and you almost end up in the leg position also. So again, two reps on decelerating with your left side forward, and 2 with your right side forward. When I say that, I mean your right hip is forward and your left hip is forward in that nice good position. And practice coordinating yourself to decelerate as quick as you can. Good. So 2 left, 2 right. Okay, now we got the principles of that movement in. We go back to our hop sequence and try and challenge the movement with the introduction of this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cross over in front. Again, that foot is driving us. We're going to shift our weight. We're translating our hip across in space to land here, to jump up again. And then once we land, we get into the split position and then we accelerate forward. So we're recreating this step as we land, as we jump up. We're landing and then we're sprinting forward and decelerating on that cone. Okay, so we'll try combining all the movements that we just did. Off we go, crossover and step, shift up and then sprint forward. Perfect, and decelerate as well. Just make sure you decelerate on that cone. That's perfect. We'll try the other side now if you want to stand on that side, Sandra, and then shift across. So again, slow it down if you have to. It doesn't have to be maximum intensity just yet. Make sure the movement is there, and then up. Good. So it is quite hard to coordinate yourself, because you got to do the crossover step, you got to transfer force laterally, then you got to jump up, then when you land you got to present the movement forward. But it's close to what might happen and challenge you in a game, because you have to overcome all this momentum going left to right, shifting, and this is where all the stability, mobility and strengthening comes into it, because it prepares your body better for all this chaos that the game presents. Good. And accelerate. Yeah, so that's absolutely fine. And what I like about these videos is it's more real. Sometimes the repetitions don't work out perfectly, and that's what we want to say. You challenge your body, because then you got to think about what you have to do. You got to analyze your movement. You're breaking down. You're learning all the time. That's what's really important about this. Good. And then decelerate. Perfect. So a fail rep can be the best thing ever, because it teaches the body and the nervous system to develop itself, to coordinate itself better, to be successful. Okay. We're going to come up to this cone up here. We're going to do the same thing now, but this time when you land, you're turning over your head. Okay, so we'll try this. I'll explain. There's a few things here. Yeah, so crossing over again, up, jumping, and then turning, and then turning. Yeah, so remember the turning techniques that we talked about before. So when I cross over and I jump and I translate to here, then I jump up, a lot going on here. And when I land, all right, because I'm jumping up on that leg, I want to land this leg, and I'm turning on my outside, not my inside, okay, because it's not how we turn, right? So we have crossover here, jump up, and as I turn, I'm accelerating into that position again, okay? So trying to turn on the inside is just dragging your femur and then into what position we don't want you to get into, really. Okay, so crossover, up, turn, and accelerate. And slowing it down for coordination purposes is absolutely fine. You will try the other side now. So we'll walk through this movement. So crossover, hop, up, and now when you land, yeah, that's it. So when you land, it's just that foot is there to help you rotate your hips and spin off in a nice athletic position, and then decelerate on that cone. 4 on your left side, 4 on your right side, and that's it. Okay, so there is a progression of hops, a coordination of hops, application of force to the floor, deceleration, so much going on there for you to coordinate yourself into the right positions. But again, very much like what you're going to have to do. If you think of the principles of your sport, the hopping, change of direction, the jumping, the landing, all these things you're going to have to do very, very soon. So this is a good transition to when you're going to be back playing very soon. So ensure that you take your time to get these coordinated patterns right, teach your body how to get back into this movement, and hopefully it'll help you with your football and hurling when you get back. Last bit then we got to do is our speed. So if you want to start down there, Sandra. So again, this track is set up where it's 10 meters and then 30 meters. It's not actually 30 meters for the purposes of where we are, but at home, make sure it's a 40 meter track, 10 meter of work into a 30 meters. Now, we're doing three sets of 6 repetitions, right? So we're going to go into a movement and then transition into speed. Now we're working up to 80 to 90% max here. My advice here is the first 2 reps go 80, the third and fourth rep go 85, and then the last 2 we're going into our 90%, so we can prepare our bodies for a return to the sport quite safely. Okay, on the first one, it's A skips. So you would have done this before. So 10 meters of A skips into a night. You don't have to go 90% in it, Sandra. Don't worry. So we're going to go A skips. Yeah, off you go. A skips, good. Yeah, so slow it down, and build up the speed. Again, if you feel like you're getting uncoordinated, and off you go. And off you go. Take off to the 30 meters. So we want a 10 meter of the A skips, and then we want the speed at the 30 meters, right? So we're going to go. You start off with a low A march and then get a little bit faster, and if you can get into that nice position, a nice pattern of the A skips, then you go on to 30 meters. So we'll do that one again. So yeah, you can start off slow like an A march. Probably didn't explain myself properly. And then yeah, get into the A skip quickly, and then once you hit that cone, open up into the 30 meters. That's perfect. Now we're going into the thresholds of near max speed and speed training, or getting up to 90% in the lateral reps, that we have to give ourselves a rest. So you walk back in, take your time, yeah, walk back in. So the first repetition is an A skip, the second repetition is a B skip. So again, it's that coordinated pattern, the cycling action, the leg comes round, hits the floor, balls of the feet as the contact, and you just cycle it round again. So it's going to look something like this. You're coming around, hitting the floor with the balls of your feet. So try it at home, bit of a coordination pattern here to overcome. Yeah, B skip, so come around, B skip, yeah. Scraping the floor with the balls of your feet, then open up into 30 meters. Very good, very good. So that's the second rep. So now we're increasing the speed. You don't need to go any faster, Sandra. You're really putting it in here. But so at home now we're going up to 85%. Yeah, so back to the start. We're going into our lateral A skip, okay? Okay, so lateral A skip. If you can do these, yeah, so coordinate yourself to go laterally. Same thing again, but you're moving down the track in that lateral pattern, yeah. Good, that's fine. And once you hit that, off you go. Well done. That's good. Perfect. Now, if you're ever struggling at home with these patterns and I can't figure out why it's trending, I don't have the coordination, slow it down. Just march it out all the way through. The heel or the foot should come up around mid-shin as you're going through the motion. But take your time. It's just challenging the movement, challenging your body to get into the position. Yeah, we got 3 more repetitions left. So you're going to go to the other side of the lateral. Same thing again, slow it down if you need to, just get the march right, yeah. So march right, that's perfect, just A skip, yeah, perfect, that's good. So the pattern starts to come out when you slow it down, then you can add intensity to it, and then you do the 4th rep out. Perfect, that's good, got 2 more reps to do. Okay, we slightly covered this in the movement, now we're kind of getting away from the patterning and the mechanics, we're just going to do crossover, right? So in a game, you may have to travel. Imagine the opposition are in possession of the football, and you can't always turn and sprint. You keep your back away from the game then if you turn and sprint. So one thing to do, and you see this in a lot of other sport as well, is that traveling movement, so that crossover and step. So you're looking where the ball is, but you can also see a lot of the pitch, right? So you're crossing over in front on the right side, so the right side is crossing over in front. I'm traveling back, I'm looking, and I'm also ready now to sprint, and that's what you'll do. When you hit this cone, you sprint up into 90%. And you do the other side. So take your time again, slow down the pattern, just crossing over, traveling back, and then once you hit here, quick sprint to the top. This is now 90%. Yep, and then sprint. So the whole utility of doing this movement is that you can position yourself in a way so you can see what's happening in the game, also traveling to maybe keep track of your opponent and keep track of the ball, but also because if you're just suddenly backpedaling, you're in a bad position to move from here. If you're crossing over front, you feel comfortable sprinting forward, sprinting backwards. It's just a nice position to practice, right? So now we're going to cross over on the other side. Now look back good, and then go, good, and into the 90%. And then relax. That's your 6 repetitions. You're going to do a 2 to 3 minute rest, whatever you need to do. Remember, it's all about maximum intensity, and then you repeat the same cycle again. So you do 3 times 6 repetitions Only 4 to 6 of them are at 90%. The rest of them are 80 or 85%. Remember, it's just about the movement up here, transitioning into a max speed or close to max speed. So again, we're not going anything over 90% in this developmental phase. That comes in the next phase after. But we're edging ourselves closer to that return to play. So take your time to invest in this movement and prepare yourself for what's to come. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.